should have gotten more calls earlier, but just so much happened. We did take a lot the first couple hours. We're going to go into rebroadcast at Infowars.com. You can always listen to the restream 24 hours a day and the free podcast at Infowars.com. Bill Federer, briefly, because I want to take a few calls. Tell folks about some of your great books and materials that are available. And also, just in summation, what the Fourth to you is really all about. And I want to jam in a few calls from Chris and Derry.
Well, my website is AmericanMinute.com, and I send out a free daily email called The American Minute. It airs as a radio spot on a couple hundred stations and also as a TV spot on TCT.TV. Faith and History is my program. But one book I did is called America's God and Country, Encyclopedia of Quotations. And it has sold over 500,000 copies in the last years. America's God and Country. Another book called What Every American Needs to Know About the Quran, A History of Islam in the United States. Another one called The American Minute, and the Ten Commandments and the influence on lots of different books, but another one is called Backfired, and I talk about how the different denominations started the different colonies, then talk about the Protestants. 98% of the founders were Protestants, and then with the Irish potatoes, the Irish Catholics came to America, and they got tolerated, and then there was a persecution of Jews in Bavaria, and they came across, they got tolerated. So like you drop a pebble in the pond, the ripples go up. Tolerance kept going out more and more and more, until finally the atheists were tolerated as of 1947, and then now the Muslims. So the last ones in have decided to push the first ones out, so it's backfired. So in other words, everybody's tolerated today except started the whole thing off. And,
interesting. We'll have you back on about that. Let's jam in a few final calls here quickly. Chris in Maryland, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, hi, Alex. Just a quick question about the tactics the government are actually using to overpower the public and basically the nation. Not that many people are touching base on Codex Alimentarius in the Project Kyoto Treaty. I was wondering if anybody
to take over all the minerals and vitamins. I appreciate your call. Yeah, I mean, it's just a total federal takeover right now. What's your take on that? I mean, how do we get a second Declaration of Independence? Or I guess Homeland Security has said that's terrorism now to talk about that.
Well, Washington foresaw this. His farewell address is almost prophetic. Washington stepped down from office in 1796. And he warned, he said, a fatal tendency to put in the place of the delegated will the will of the party, often a small and artful and enterprising minority. He goes on to say, likely to become potent engines by which cunning, ambitious, unprincipled men will subvert the power of the people and usurp for themselves the reins of government, destroy afterward the very engines that lifted them to the unjust position. George Washington goes on to say, this leads to a formal and permanent despotism. And I love this part. He goes, the disorders and miseries that result gradually incline the minds of men to seek security in the absolute power of an individual, who turns this disposition to his own elevation on the ruins of public liberty. But he anticipated there are going to be disorders and miseries. There's going to be one crisis after another, and it's going to cause people to seek security in the absolute power of an individual who says, hey, I'll solve these crises. I'm really good at it.
Yeah, the man on the white horse. The man on the white horse, the dictator. Now that dictator is just the government system itself seizing and grabbing everything. I'm sorry to Derry and others didn't have time to get to you. I'll be back this Sunday live, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anybody who doesn't have an affiliate in their area, it's Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.tv or PrisonPlanet.com. Thank you so much, Bill, for coming on with us. The website is AmericanMinute.com. God bless you. Have a great 4th.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate all you're doing.
Take care. We'll have him back on. Great job with the crew. Want them to have a great 4th. Want to thank everybody out there, including XM, carrying the show. God bless you all. Retransmission starts now.